Okay, hey everyone. This is Zach Wiggins here. I'm one of the TAs in musicology. Just going to do a brief little video here to show you how to access the Chicago Manual of Style and just a couple general tips on doing your bibliography, citations, that kind of stuff. If we notice, we start out here at the ASU Library's website. So I'm going to show you first how to get to the Chicago Manual of Style. Okay, so we are going to come in here and go to Find and then go over to Research Databases right here. Research Databases, you click on that, takes you over to this A to Z database thing. And Chicago Manual of Style, we're going to look and see and scroll down until you find it. And there it is, Chicago Manual of Style Online. If we click on that, it brings us over to this page right here, okay? And there's a lot of stuff that you can use on this. Just kind of the most basic thing that I think is going to give you the most bang for your buck here is to go to the Citation Quick Guide. So you click on that, and probably most of you are using notes and bibliography style. Okay, that's kind of the general musicology, music research thing that you'll be using if you're in music ed or ethnomusicology. You might be using something else altogether. But check out notes and bibliography style here. This is the basic standard for musicology here. And a couple things to notice, if you just look through these, first, before you write any citation, you have to figure out what kind of a source you're using. So if you're using a book, use this stuff right here, okay? If you're using something else, like a ebook, there's different format down here. Or if you're using a journal article, like something in an online journal or a print journal, whatever, something you found on JSTOR, use this format right here. If you're using like a newspaper article, there's a different format. So if you scroll through these, find the one that is most close to whatever you're using. If you're reading a dissertation, use that. If you're using just a website, make sure you use the website format. Just if you have questions about that, you can ask your teacher, you can ask one of the TAs. I'm sure they'd be happy to clear up whatever confusion you have on that there. Okay, so that's thing number one, is figure out what kind of a source you're using. Thing number two is to decide what kind of a citation you're doing. Okay, so when you do your bibliography at the end of your paper, you want to use the bibliography entries format here. And that's different than the notes format. The notes format you use when you're citing something in the text, when you quote a little piece of something, then you put a footnote in, and you use this format right here, okay? And it's a little bit different than the bibliography format, okay? The main thing, if you notice, like the author name right here, this is kind of a dead giveaway. If you're using the bibliography format, the last name comes before the first name. If you're doing notes, they're switched, okay? Also, notes, you'll notice it has commas after everything in here. While the bibliography format is going to have periods after everything. So these might seem like silly little details, but this is just kind of like the way that people do stuff, makes everything professional, makes everything standardized, So just be detail oriented and follow the guide here, and then you won't lose points on your assignments, Just as a little guide here, I have put together some stuff. Okay, so I went and I found this article just through the ASU library. I do research in New Orleans jazz, so I found this article. I thought, hey, this looks kind of cool. I haven't read it yet. Maybe it'll be good for my research, So here's this thing. I clicked all the appropriate links and got the actual text over here, okay? So now what I've done is, say I'm going to cite this. I'm going to come back over here. And this right here, I'm going to look at it, and I notice it's in the journal Popular Music History, okay? You might notice that also if you're looking up here, you can see this would be the place where you would see what journal it was in. If it says something like volume number, then you can kind of safely assume it's probably a journal, okay? Also up here it says it's an article, so an article in a journal. Those are kind of the giveaway points on that. Okay, so if we come on over here, we scroll down to where the journal article is. This is the format that you're going to want to use for that. Okay, so if we start out here, you notice, let's look at the notes first. Okay, so you're going to use the author's name first and then last, and then a comma, and then you put the title of the article in quotes, and you put a comma at the end of that before the end of the quotation marks, and then you put the name of the journal in italics with the volume and issue number here, and those parts are not in italics. Then you put the date of that journal in parentheses with a comma and the exact page number of the one thing that you're citing. Okay, so I did that over here. Here's the title, the name of my author, Richard Eakins, and then the title of my article, all this part in quotes, and there's a comma there at the end of that. And then I came over here and I put the journal Popular Music History in italics with the issue and volume numbers and the date. And then let's say I'm taking it directly off of page 24. That's where my quote is coming from. So there's my notes style. Now let's say I cited the same article later on in my paper and I took something off page 25. You can just use this shortened notes format right here. You just put the author's last name, sort of an abbreviation of the title, and the page number. You got that right here, okay? Now the other thing is we got our bibliography, okay? So this is a little bit different format. So we have last name. I'm going to look at this one, Susan Satterfield, because that's one single author, okay? You notice this one up here, this is a little bit different because there's multiple authors. So make sure you be detail-oriented on that stuff, This over here, I got my last name, first name, period, and then I go and put the title of the article in quotes with a period before the end of the quotation marks. And then I go in and I put the journal article, again in italics, and the volume, issue number stuff, not in italics. The date in parentheses, quotation marks, not quotation marks, a colon there. And then you come in and you put the range of page numbers of the whole article, okay, not just the page numbers for what you cited. All right, so if I was looking at my article here, here's the actual text. If you look, this is page 25, so it means the first page of my article is on page 24 of the print version of this journal, okay? So I would say it starts on page 24, and then I'll scroll down to the end here. Oh, it looks like it goes to 52, okay? So here's my bibliography style. Here's my page number range at the end. You notice I followed all that same format right there. Okay, so I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Sean Hillen is the other TA that I think you'll be working with. And we hope that this clears some stuff up for you. Thanks. Good luck on your papers.